Hey Glamfam, Linwood here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do kinky twist for visual learners. So we're going to be doing a few things a bit differently just to make sure that you can more easily see what's going on. I'll be using this mannequin here, and I'll link all the things that I'm using in the description box down below. Let's get started. Now, things that you'll need for this tutorial, I've got a pack of Kinky Twist hair. It does not have to be the specific brand. Sometimes you'll hear it called Kinky Twist hair, Marley hair, Jamaican Twist, Caribbean Twist. They name it a lot of different names, but I'll put some different links to some kinds down below. I'm using blonde just so it's more easy for you to see, especially against the darker hair of the mannequin here. A bit of Shine and Jam. You can use just about any braiding gel that you like. Shine and Jam is one of my favorites though. A rat tail comb. Some duckbill clips like this here. I absolutely love these, are excellent. I'll also be using a wristband like this here. The silicone wristbands are amazing because they're easily sanitizable, and it's a great place to be able to store your clips. If you're working on a client, you can easily change these out in between clients so that way you're not spreading germs from one person to the next, and you're not having to worry about having a dirty band that you're putting your clean clips on and then getting your clean clips dirty with other people's germs. So yeah, just so you know. A few butterfly clips like these here. It helps if you're working on hair that has either been pre-stretched or blow dried out, so it's somewhat smoother and easier to work with. It leads to less tangling and knotting. You can use any blow dryer. One of the easiest options is this Revlon one here. It's not my absolute favorite, but it is pretty affordable and it does the job pretty well, so I won't complain about that. If you're doing this for yourself or for a friend, something like that, it's a great tool. If you're looking for salon use, I wouldn't use this. It's not easily sanitizable, and it's not something that I would use in the salon. It just doesn't have enough wattage. And optional at the end, you can also use some perm rods like this to be able to seal those ends into a curl. I'll show you what I mean as we get towards the end of the tutorial. Now I'm going to be starting out on the nape area of this mannequin here, so I'm just going to go ahead and part across this nape area. I'm going to use a pretty substantial size here, so we're using, I'd say, about 3/4 of an inch. I'll do that in squares just to kind of ensure that you can easily see it on camera. You can do these as big or as small as you like, but just keep in mind you're going to alter the amount of hair that you add based on the size of the twists that you do. So we've got our row across just like this here. And then from there, I'm just going to go ahead and part out a section of hair to kind of match in size here. Now we're just going to clip that hair out of the way. And to ensure that we don't have any flyaways, anything like that, I'm going to go ahead and clip this hair here out of the way as well. We're going to go ahead and detangle this hair here. As I said, it does help if this hair has been pre-stretched a bit. That way you're not having to worry about a ton of knotting, things like that as you work. Now this hair usually comes in a pack like this here, and it's folded over at the top. If you find that this is too long for you, you can cut it in half and stretch it a bit to make it shorter. I'm going to use it for this present length just so that way I can use it again for other tutorials pretty easily. But most people don't tend to want hair quite this long when they're dealing with kinky twists. So it's up to you and your client or whoever's hair you're doing. So yeah. Now I did notice that this hair also did not specify what fiber it was made of. It just said that it was compatible with human hair. I will say my preference is to work with Kinky. In terms of this hair here, I have 2 bundles of it. It kind of comes in like these little bunches like this already. So I'm just going to take that, and on one side I'm going to treat that as 1 strand. On the other side I'm going to treat it as 2 strands. And as we get up and we attach it, you'll kind of see what exactly I mean. So let me just scoot in a little bit closer. So I'm going to take my one side with the 2 strands and split that and keep the other side together like this here. So we're just going to grip it kind of like a cornrow. 2 strands together on one side, 2 strands separate on the other side. We're going to place it right on top of that section of hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up a bit of this hair and I'm going to add it into that first strand that I have. Okay, so we've got that separated out. Just like that. Then from there, as I reach under, I'm going to reach under and get a little bit more hair here. And that leaves this last bit of hair down here. And that's what my big strand is going to go into. Now from there, I'm going to start off as a braid. And then I'll go ahead and come on back to the opposite side. I want my 2 pieces to end up back on the side they started on. Then I'll add them back together. So those 2 pieces that were individuals are now coming back together as 1 piece. From there, I'm going to go ahead and twist it towards the face, just like so. And I'm going to begin to twist it up and away from the face. Again, twisting the other strand toward the face and then bringing up and away from the face. And this is what gives that rope-like twist that gives you more of that defined look. Now, by now you may be wondering what the Shine-In Jam is for. It helps out with smoothing out the hair, and I did already have a little bit on here, but I'm gonna go ahead and add some to these ends just so they stay smooth and they don't separate out a ton. So the Shine-In Jam looks about like this here. And I'm just gonna take a small amount of that, and we're gonna place that on the ends of the natural hair. So just kind of placing it on the ends of the natural hair here. And then as we continue to twist, we're able to kind of smooth and blend that in some with this hair that we have. So naturally, if this hair was the same color, it would blend rather nicely with what we are doing. And you can see the texture of this Kinky twist hair gives you more of like that kind of rough texture. It's not super smooth like a silky twist, anything like that. This is meant to look like Afro textured hair. So I'm going ahead and continuing to slide this mannequin away as I twist so you can see how well that braiding gel allows you to just kind of blend from one on into the next. Once you get to the end, you can more quickly work with that hair. I feel like it's best to pay a lot of attention to the ends of the natural hair and the beginning of the synthetic hair on its own. That way it works pretty smoothly from one transition to the next. Okay, now you guys can see these ends don't really want to stay together real well. So a lot of times what it helps to do, take those ends and separate them a bit. And that way you can kind of feed them together, create more of an equal length on the strands, and it allows them to taper down a bit. Usually if the ends are really, really blunt, like what you're seeing on this one, the hair doesn't stay twisted extremely well. So I want to go ahead and separate it out just to ensure that everything stays pretty smooth and it holds together a bit better. So as I get down here, because it's so much harder to grip those smaller strands, what I'll do is just twist between my fingers and pass on over. So I'm no longer twisting with the wrist. I'm literally just kind of rolling between my fingers like that as I pass over. And if you'll notice, the ends of that hold together much better because now we're tapered down and we're working with that different varying length of hair. So that's what that's looking like there. As you get to the end, as you see here, this is where you begin to employ that perm rod we were talking about. So let me let my camera focus. Now, you can do this with a number of different perm rods. You don't have to put one perm rod per twist. So a lot of times I'll wait until I'm completely finished with the whole head, and then I'll go ahead and wrap the hair around a perm roller, like so. And I'll just wrap it a bit to give a bit of curl to the ends. Okay? From there, you just put a clip, put the clip on there, and what you're gonna do from there is you'll take this and you'll dip it in boiling hot water very carefully so you don't burn yourself or your client. And then from there, let it cool down or dip it in cool water, towel dry it some, and unravel it. And usually if it's Kanekalon, it will hold that curl on in there. Now, a few different power tips or points for you. I'm going to show you another way here in just a moment as well. But a few different power tips is to go ahead on your next row up, make sure that you end up placing your twists to where they fall right in between each other instead of doing perfect parting straight up because it leaves it more spacey. So let me back you up some. What I essentially mean by that is if my partings are perfectly lined up, they look like this and they're very gapped. Usually if I am placing them between each other, it's called bricklaying, my partings look a bit more like this, and you see how much more full that looks? It's the same amount of braids, or fingers in this instance, but it gives you more of a close together look, and it makes the scalp show a lot less, so your client looks like they have much more hair without you having to add a ton of hair in. Now let me show you the second technique. Now for the second technique, I've already got the section parted out here, and I'm just gonna place some braiding gel on this hair. This technique here looks a lot more aesthetically pleasing, but it doesn't hold as tight or as snug as the first method does because of the fact that you're starting with a braid. But I still want to show you both just in case one is easier than the other. So with this second technique, I'm going to split my original strand in two pieces, and we're going to take my two pieces of synthetic hair here and just place them right on across. So we've got one strand to one strand, just like so. Then from here, I'm just gonna twist until we get it nice and snug down to the scalp, and we're just going to pass it off to the other side. And as we do that, we're trading off, and we're going to twist this side as well. Now, especially when you are working with the same hair color, this leaves a lot less traceable of a knot. It's because you can see here you're starting with a braid and then you're converting it to a twist. On this second one, it looks like a twist from jump. But especially if you are going to be pulling your hair up in ponytails and things quite a bit, this one will slip quite a bit more, the second one here. So while it may look better, you might only want to do it around like the front or the top where you're going to be noticing it a bit more, or if it's something where you plan on wearing these for a short period of time, because these will not last as long as your traditional or original kinky twists would. Now, as far as that goes, literally everything else is exactly the same. The only difference that you're doing is just the way that you lock them in. And I want you guys to notice the difference in how that looks at the base. So you could do like this here. This is a second method, and you can see it still looks smooth and all that. You can do this here, and I will say aesthetically, I like this one here a bit better. But in terms of long-term wear, the one beginning with a braid starts a bit better as well. There's also a feed-in option for these, but I'm trying to keep these a bit more basic just in case you're a beginner learner. If you want me to show you how to do the feed-in twists like this here, go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. And if you want to know how to do the feed-in twist down to the scalp, I actually already have a tutorial on that you can check out by clicking the link that I put down below or in the eye in the top right corner. Until next time, you guys, take care, God bless, and stay glam. I hope that you learned something from this video, and if you did, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you like tutorials like this and you want to see more, check us out on our channel, Glamfam Hair and Beauty, and please feel free to subscribe. Until next time, you guys, take care, God bless, and stay glam. You know I love you, boo.